We talked about Matthews, only 2 goals in 8 games. He is still the odds-on favorite to win the Rocket Richard, but he is not leading the league in goals right now. That belongs to Connor McDavid, who scored a hat trick last night against the Chicago Blackhawks, and he was just buzzing. It was a vintage Connor McDavid night. He was spinning all over the ice. He was creating chances pretty much every time he jumped over the boards, and he's got this goal scoring thing going this year. There's a lot of talk around Edmonton that McDavid's kind of made it a secret mission that, he wants to show the league I can be a 50 goal guy too if I decide to. He's right now, I think, plus 425 to win the Rocket Richard, lead the league in goals. And I'm starting to just get a little tempted to sprinkle some dough on that, Mike McKenna. Am I crazy for thinking the Rocket Richard is a possibility for Connor McDavid?
I think it's a long shot. I mean, he's never gone over 44 goals in a season. The thing about it is, though, that McDavid's always striving to be better. And it's not just offensively, it's defensively as well. I just think it's a stretch. I actually had Leon Draisaitl picked for the Rocket Richard this year, and he's got 4 goals on the season. I think with McDavid, it just seems to come in bunches, and that's why it's so noticeable with him. He'll rattle off 2 goal game, 3 goal game. His total point projection is through the roof because he never misses a game, it feels like, without being on the score sheet. But the actual goal scoring aspect, so much of it for McDavid is downhill, driving towards the net, and you just don't get as many of those opportunities as you could, like a Drysdale on and off the blade on the power play. So, could it happen? If there's slumps across the league, if guys like Matthews or Kaprizov, Ovechkin, Kreider, these top names, if they don't really catch fire, maybe we're looking at 50-52 as leading the NHL. I could see that. But I think it's going to be tough for McDavid to head over 50. That's just kind of my gut on it, though, Tyler.
Yeah, and I do think there's something to be said that right now he's shooting the puck a lot more. And early in the year, I think he does have the mindset of like, I'm going to try score more this season. Drysaitel and him
Hmm.
had a bit of a joke earlier the year that Drysaitel said he could maybe pop home 60 this year. But I also think at some point you always revert back to your old habits, and McDavid has always been a pass first guy. And I think there'll just be stretches this year where, like you said, he'll have runs like he's on now, 8 goals in 8 games to start the season, but there will be runs where he only scores twice in 10 games because, well, he's racked up 11 assists. I guess the better question, he's on pace for 150 plus points right now. Do you think he can keep up that kind of ridiculous pace? Could he be the first guy since the 90s to crack the 150 point mark?
Yeah, looking across the league and seeing that most teams are now well over 3 goals a game, like scoring is up.
So,
I don't want to say no on that. Like if he's healthy for all 82 games, I think he could hit 140, maybe nudge up against 150. It's hard in today's game though through the course of the season. We always see scoring up at the beginning of the year and it starts to come back down. So again, I think it's
yeah.
kind of a long shot, but who's going to touch this guy for the scoring race? I don't know, man. He's on a different planet.